Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV. This is episode number 519 for Wednesday, the 30th of August, 2017. It's nice to have you here, and I'm joined tonight by Sasha Dermatis and my friend Shizu Yamaguchi. Shizu, what are you going to be covering with us tonight?
I'm going to be talking about the life-changing art magic of tidying up by Marie Kondo.
It's art, it's magic,
yeah,
it's fabulous,
it's art,
it's fantastic,
it's magic, it's all these things. It's all about cleaning up house.
Nice. We're going to learn how to apply that to my office and studio space as well, just in time for our 10th anniversary when everyone's going to be here and judging me for my messes. Also, I'm going to be covering Unicode characters tonight. We're going to learn how to use those in order to integrate Font Awesome into our graphic editor. Tonight we're going to be showing you in the GNU image manipulation program.
Right, and I am going to talk a little bit more about Dave's computer build, which is awesome and on its way. And also, here's what's coming up in the Category 5.tv newsroom. My teleprompter screen is still not working.
Oh. So if you wonder why she's looking down,
yes,
now you know.
Burger King now has its own cryptocurrency in Russia, the Whopper coin. The Pepper robot has demonstrated its ability to perform a funeral in place of a Buddhist monk. A nasty firmware update butchers Samsung smart TVs so badly that they have to be repaired. And DJI has announced a bug bounty program to pay hackers to report exploits. Stick around, the full details are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV.
Our live recordings are trusted only to solid-state drives by Kingston Technology. Revive your computer with improved performance and reliability over traditional hard drives with Kingston SSDs.
Category 5 TV streams live with Telestream Wirecast and Nimble Streamer. Tune in live every week on Roku, Kodi, and other HLS video players. For local showtimes, visit category5.tv.
Category 5.tv is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. cat5.tv/TPN and the International Association of Internet Broadcasters, cat5.tv/IAIB.
Welcome to the show. I'm Robbie Ferguson. Please help me welcome Sasha Dermatis back with us again tonight. And for the first time ever, Shizu Yamaguchi. Nice to see you.
Hello.
And we're going to get all into how we know each other and what you're up to, and we're going to be getting into it in a few minutes' time. We are on our core stools tonight.
That's right.
If you're not familiar with them, hey, go over to cat5.tv/stool, and if you see me kind of rocking back and forth, that's what's causing it.
Doing
I'm working my core
workout.
Yeah.
The best thing about these stools, actually, for me, is that they actually make me look like I'm the tallest here.
I guess
mine raised all the way up.
There we go. But now I'd be falling over. Seriously, I'm not confident unless my feet are on the ground. Plain and simple. Our 10th anniversary is coming up.
Yes.
September 27th. It's almost upon us, folks. How can people join us that night?
They request tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do that.
Category5.tv, folks.
Yes.
On the 27th of September is our 10th anniversary for Category 5 Tech TV. It's hard to believe, but we'd love to welcome you right here in our studio, and that would be really, really cool to have you here. So just head over to our website, category5.tv, and click on tickets, and you'll find out how to attend.
Yeah.
A bunch of us are going to be here.
It's going to be reminiscent of like the fifth one, where everybody was here, right?
A little different because we have our own studio now.
Yeah, that's true.
When we did the 5th anniversary, we had to get a auditorium and move all the equipment over and set everything up and tear it down afterwards and all that. Now we have our own studio, so here we are.
The 5th anniversary one was like my first-ish episode.
The first-ish, yeah.
So this is like my 5th-ish anniversary.
There you go.
With the show.
Hard to believe, eh?
Yeah.
Time flies. Okay. Shizu.
Yes.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Shizu and I worked together without actually working together. Kind of the world that we live in, where
it was all virtual. We were emailing and on the telephone.
On the telephone.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is only the second time that we've met. My family and I went down to the East Head offices.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Hang out for a little bit there.
Yeah.
But it's so neat that technology has brought businesses to the point where a company like ESET, we can sell to people all over the world. Today, I was remoted into a customer's computer in Edmonton,
Oh, wow.
their server, to fix their remote administrator.
Wow.
Like, that's
okay.
the world that we're in, where it's so connected that we can do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we've worked together for quite some time, but don't really know each other in person, which is really a weird feeling.
So now we're in front of a camera. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I think that we had this discussion, was it just last week, where we're just talking about, it's such a weird thing that you can get to know somebody so well and never actually meet them in person these days.
It's crazy, and it's I feel very close to like the chat room, like
absolutely, yeah,
we're friends, but I've never actually met. Like literally, I could walk past in the street anybody in the chat room. I'd have to be walking down the street like in the UK or something. but yeah, I feel like I know everybody so well, but at the same time, physically, like I've never met you.
I think you would run up to her and say hi, right?
Please do.
So y'all would recognize Sasha. So.
Yes.
So this is kind of neat. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing these days. And
Sure, yeah. So I met Robbie at ESET. We were working together. I myself am a graduate of psychology from the University of Toronto. Been in Toronto for about 10 years. Grew up on the East Coast. Currently going into school for graphic design at OCAD University.
Cool.
And running some businesses on the side as well, doing public speaking training as well as graphic design. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
And you're public speaking. I hear you're also doing some of the stand-up circuit in Toronto.
So I'm just starting with this.
Okay.
So I took a Second City class, Stand Up 1,
Nice.
as a suite to an improv class that I took with them a number of years ago. And I'm starting Stand Up 2 now, and just kind of dipping my toe into the world of stand-up. Have done two performances so far, 3 to 5 minute long sets, and just
And how do you find that?
jumping in. The first time I performed, it was in front of about 100 people, friends and family. I was too calm. I felt I was too calm. But the second time I went up, it was in front of also kind of a friends and family oriented place. It was like terrifying. I was like so nervous. Yeah. So it's just
is it
interesting.
Just did Patton Oswalt introduce you?
Our next comedian, originally from PEI, Prince Edward Island. Now lives here in Toronto selling software. She aims to be a full-time graphic designer and performer. And so let's help her get started. Please welcome Shizu Yamaguchi.
My dad, being Japanese, was very much a disciplinarian. Over the years, though, the spankings decreased significantly. He adapted to North American culture to the point that I couldn't tell me and my sister apart. Patton Oswalt.
The guy he looked so much like Patton
You know what?
Oswalt.
You mentioned him, but no, that was Jim. Jim McAleese. He's one of the teachers at Second City. Yeah, he's really
It's
good.
uncanny.
He's really good.
In the video, at least.
Yeah, I don't think he would like that if he's.
Oh well, sorry.
No, but I mean, no, it's a compliment and a compliment. Yeah.
Well, he does the stand-up.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So that's the latest thing.
So tonight you are here with us because now I've been really preparing for our 10th anniversary show here at Category 5, and we've all been through this where you have trouble decluttering and organizing, and my biggest challenge here at the studio is, as you saw today. So Shizu, I was explaining to her that you look at the boxes that we have of product that it has been sent in to review, and I know that there are some companies that are watching even right now who maybe don't understand when I've unfortunately had to turn your products away, and this happens, and this has happened more regularly now than ever before. So we've got boxes of stuff to review, and then in come more boxes while you're standing here. And it's like point in case now we've got more. So I unpack these boxes, we review the product as quickly as we can, and then we've got packaging, we've got the original shipping packaging.
Exactly.
I go through this where we just I'm not here enough to keep up with it.
Right. So what happens to the items after you're done with them? Do you send them back, or do they stay, or you hold on to them? Or?
They stay.
Okay.
So we quite often put them on display.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the companies that are promoting their products through us, we'll quite often bring them out again.
Okay.
And sometimes we'll even give them away as prizes.
Wow.
So that's ultimately the goal, is to be able to give them away.
Okay. I see. That makes sense. So in terms of segueing into this book that I've read,
so
is this the segue?
Yeah. So this is my predicament.
Yeah.
And Shizu contacted me and said, "You've got to check out this book." Tell us about this.
Okay. Well, so the book is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and it's by author Marie Kondo. She's a Japanese declutterer. That's what she does for a living now. So this book
This is her job,
actually, and actually there are now consultants all over the world. Yeah.
I would be fired first day.
Yes. No, you're pretty thorough. You'd get it. So it was a New York Times bestseller, #1 bestseller. I think in and around the beginning of 2016. So this lady has she's a declutterer / cleaner, home organizer for a living. She has a waiting list of 3 months of clients.
Really?
And the claim is that after tidying up the way she does it, you will never have to do it again. So it's not the kind of thing where you do it on a monthly basis, do it another 6 months, year. You do it once and it's done. So I'm not sure if that applies exactly to your scenario, because you're constantly getting and I'm
at home I can see it working.
Yes, at home definitely. So basically, I did this method this past Saturday. So I took 12 hours of my life out to take my room apart, and at the end of it, I had 12 garbage bags sitting in my living room.
Wow.
There was so much stuff. I had no idea myself that I was such a hoarder. Like, I had so much stuff. And my way of cleaning up prior to this was just to organize stuff, just put the clothes where the clothes are supposed to go, books where the books are supposed to go. That was the way I cleaned up. I always felt better afterwards. But this time was different. So her method is different in one specific way, and that is she focuses, like, the subtitle is actually decluttering and organizing. So the first part is decluttering, and the rule that she goes by is to only keep things that spark joy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So what that means is that if you have a shirt, say, that you wear once every 3 months, and you have maybe it doesn't fit quite right, but you kind of like it, and you're like, you have mixed feelings, that one's got to go.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it.
I have shirts that I despise.
Okay, so there's going to be a range. There's going to be shirts that you absolutely despise, a shirt that maybe a relative gave to you 10 years ago that you're holding on to for memento's sake. There's going to be a shirt that you just bought last week that was expensive but didn't fit quite right, and then there's going to be that shirt that's going to be like, oh my gosh, I love this shirt, I love wearing it, it sparks joy. And so this is the method. You go through, and it's very methodical. You go through clothes first, and then all the different types of clothing, tops, bottoms, all that kind of thing, books, and then papers, which relates a little bit to technology in the sense that she basically says get rid of all paper, except for 2 types. One type is paper that you need to action on, like, let's say it's a government document that you need to send back.
Like a bill or something like that?
Something like that you need to action on. And the second type is basically any kind of financial records that you absolutely have to keep. So in that sense, having a computer with a good Google Drive or whatever kind of technology is a great way of keeping your site paperless, aside from those types of documents.
So would we start scanning things that... Like, what's the answer?
Probably not. I would say if she had like a suite to this book in terms of translating that into a technology kind of field, she would probably keep that to a minimum as well. Because the idea is to have the least number of things on your mind, letting go of the past.
So it's not just decluttering your room, but also like your mind and your life.
Yeah. So that's part of the results, which is. So I will get back to you on that question of what do you do with all of that stuff, right?
What comes to mind, Becca, like, we get tons and tons of papers from the kids' teachers, schools. And, like, it's ridiculous, and every parent out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. Jeff?
Is it?
Yeah?
Is it important to have the actual papers, could you not just take a picture of them and like file them in like grade 3? Like, just have a file of like grade 3 pictures of things.
I want to know your answer to this. But we run into this predicament of these are sentimental in the way that our kids have done these crafts and even math homework and things that, you know, I'm so proud that my son got 100% on his math.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you want to hold on to that. What, you know, obviously you got to go through it and you got to, and we recycle it and you know, do our best to get rid of it. But what's kind of the answer there? Is there a magic answer?
There, yeah, I guess the answer should be magic. This lady's has been. It is exactly on the cover of the book, and I feel like having great words like magic on the cover of a book are great. But anyway, she's been doing this kind of work, just as a side note, since she was 5 years old. So she's been obsessed, basically, with home organization. She would throw out bags of stuff that belonged to her parents. Like, she would go through the house and just organize things, take time off of school to do these things.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is her method.
This is her method,
Like, she developed this method.
She developed this method. And so one of the things that she did do at one point in time was, like, try to take pictures of the things that she found valuable. And so she's gone through all of these methods. And I think her answer would be, to that, does it spark joy? And if it does, hold on to it, you know? And if it doesn't, then, you know, you kind of, you know, you say goodbye, you know, and that's what the process was like for me when I was doing it was, you know, this old T-shirt they had had for about 10 years. I said goodbye to it. Literally, I had tears in my eyes because I was just like, this needs to go. It's not for me anymore. And I just said goodbye. But those things that do spark joy, you hold on to them. That's interesting. And I like that. And a lot of times with these kinds of philosophies or sayings or cliches even, the opposite is true. So the opposite to that is things that bring sadness or bad memories or you know, those kinds of things, they can just go. Exactly. And that's the interesting part about it, is that it's very subjective. It's because, for example, you might come across something that objectively came from someone that, let's say from a parent or someone that you were close to at one time, but it causes you a lot of pain when you see it because it reminds you of something negative. For someone else, they might say, well, it comes from this person, so you should hold on to it. But for you personally, it's about how you feel about it. So if you feel it's a weight, you need to let it go. So it's an interesting process, and I found it for myself to be at points quite emotional. And once the process was done, I felt quite calm and more confident with my decision making, because going through all of those things, hundreds of things of thinking to myself, does it spark joy? What emotion does this cause me? Do I have to let it go? All these things that were kind of caught up in my mind and in the past are now kind of physically gone. So. So actually this book is interesting because the results are really interesting for her clients. She's cited some clients have gone through tremendous relationship changes afterwards, like, for example, separations, for example. It can get pretty severe. But also like career changes and people getting clarity about what they want to do with their lives. So to me, it makes sense. I'm only, you know, so far a few days into it, but I feel much more chill as a person as a result. Is there a part 2 to it? So you're decluttering the things that you already have, but have you changed the mindset for acquiring new things now? Are you only bringing into your life things that bring you joy? Well, definitely, that's a good question, because now I find when I go shopping or when I go around window shopping, I don't feel like I want to buy anything, because I have that process in mind already, like what is going to bring me joy, and I already feel like I'm somewhat satisfied where I am, I guess. Now the only thing is just buying things that maybe okay, this is kind of embarrassing, but so my my collection of socks, we'll say, was not the best, and so I had to throw out a bunch of them. So now I have to get new ones, essentially. So these are the kinds of things that you recognize, that this old pair of sandals that I was wearing for the past like 2 years, like they really needed to go, and now I need to get a new pair. So you're looking at things more in a long-term perspective, and not in a perspective of, oh, you know, I feel like just buying something right now, because you think, oh no, I'm gonna have to deal with that when I get home. So. Very cool. Well, we're talking about the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, with our guest Shizu Yamaguchi. And this book is actually available through our shop. It's cat5.tv/tidy. That'll get you there. So
how can we now this is obviously good advice, and it's something that I want to learn for my own life and for like at home and just keeping things tidy and getting rid of some junk. But how can I translate this into my office space, my studio space, those at home who have home offices? It's another good example. I know we've all got a lot of clutter that we could probably do away with, and it would be so freeing to...
I would say to take the book and just go through the process with your home office. I think that would be the method. I think by going through your papers and going through items such as things that are being sent in, you would for yourself get a sense of what kinds of things you'll want to keep and what things you'll put away, or, you know, the categories of things I think will become more clear as you go through the process of what you already have. So I feel like kind of dealing with what you already have will make that path clear for the future as to what you want to bring in and keep and how you want to deal with that. So I would highly recommend just going through the process. It takes some time, but it's an all-in-one go kind of thing. So, but I would recommend just doing the process with the book.
Even just speaking with you right now, Shizu?
Yeah.
Just beyond you, I see 3 printers.
Okay.
And I'm like, why, Robbie?
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, so yeah, okay, I get it. I think I get it.
Yeah.
So I need to read the book, cat5.tv/tidy. Any other advice for us?
Live long and prosper.
Nicely said. Nicely said. Well, this is Category 5 Technology TV. Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you here. Sasha, we're going to jump over to the newsroom and find out what you've got for us today.
Here are the stories we're covering this week in the Category 5.tv newsroom. Burger King now has its own cryptocurrency in Russia, the Whopper coin. The Pepper robot has demonstrated its ability to perform a funeral in place of a Buddhist monk. A nasty firmware update butchers Samsung smart TVs so badly that they have to be repaired. And DJI has announced a bug bounty program to pay hackers to report exploits. These stories are coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
Jeff Weston.
Yeah, man.
You're building a brand new, beautiful website.
What?
Aren't you?
No. Am I?
Oh, you're a terrible actor.
What?
This is where acting comes into play.
Oh, I didn't know we were acting.
You're supposed to act.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
I'm building a really cool website. Are you building a really cool website? You need hosting. One of the things about a hosting account is you don't want to have limitations put on your website.
It's true.
How much hard drive space do you have? How many email accounts? How many domains can point to it? Well, we've got an amazing deal for you. For a very limited time, cat5.tv/dreamhost, for just $5 and a bit of change per month, you are going to get unlimited website hosting, unlimited email accounts on that hosting service. You are also going to receive a free domain name.
Ooh.
So your own .com.
Nice.
To put that amazing website that you've been working on
True.
there. If you want to build a WordPress site, fine. Sign up, cat5.tv/dreamhost.
Just don't put Panama Papers on it.
Just don't do it. But hey, it's a great deal, folks. Best deal you're going to find. $5 and change per month. Go to cat5.tv/dreamhost.
I'm Sasha Dermatis, and here are the top stories for the week of August 30th, 2017. According to New York Magazine, who published the story based on a Russian news report, the Russian subdivision of Burger King has launched its own cryptocurrency, aptly called Whopper Coin. For each Whopper burger customers purchase, they'll receive 1 Whopper coin in a special cryptocurrency wallet. While the coin's wider use is unclear, some reports suggest that the Whopper coin will be accepted as a method of payment at Burger Kings across Russia. Burger King has reportedly issued 1 billion Whopper coin tokens to date on Wave's platform, though it is possible that there will be more to come. According to reports, Burger King Russia is now accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. So a burger paid for in Bitcoin would be like, it would cost like 0.0000314
Not
Bitcoin.
even.
Like,
oh my goodness.
Like,
I like that she used pi in there.
Yeah,
though.
I like that too.
Yeah, it's very nicely played. Anyone else craving a Whopper right about now? Like, Yeah, Jeff is. I wonder if this is just specifically that. Like, let's do something crazy just to really get a lot of news outlets to cover Whopper coin. Is that what they called it?
Yeah. It's no different than any incentive program at all, really, except that it's cryptocurrency,
and
which is
it's getting them free viral promotions like crazy. But it's kind of neat. I like that they're going that route, and it's interesting. You know, raises some questions that it's only Russia, but we'll see what happens here in Canada and around the U.S.
When the robot apocalypse comes, robots will be able to say a prayer over your remains thanks to Japan's SoftBank. This week at Tokyo's International Funeral and Cemetery Show, SoftBank's Pepper robot demonstrated its ability to perform Buddhist funeral rites through third-party software designed for the task. Draped in traditional Japanese funeral garb, Pepper not only presided over a faux death ceremony, it also chanted Buddhist sutras, taking over the usual role of a human monk during such ceremonies. So far, Pepper isn't actually performing any real funeral rites, but Japan's Nisei Echo developed the funeral software for Pepper as an alternative when a Buddhist monk isn't available or when the family can't afford the much more expensive human practitioner. The service will cost about $450 versus the thousands of dollars usually spent for a human.
Wow.
So this is where robots cost less than humans, and now I don't know how I feel about this, and this is weird for me to say because I'm really pro-robot all the time.
Yeah. Do you have any opinions on this one?
But
because you're big on robots, and
it's interesting. I don't know. So they actually perform the rites. They don't just say that's. It is really interesting. I'm not sure how that would affect the older generation of.
But I wonder if that's kind of the target or the goal is to reduce the cost of funeral services in order to, I mean, because it's
a really fascinating integration, I think, because it's something that's so related to things that are so emotional and so human.
Yeah.
And,
take that
and yet you're taking AI and bringing that into it. It's more. It would be more appropriate, I would think, in like a shopping mall or like at a checkout or something like that. But I feel like it's such a interesting contrast, moving it right into something so deeply, spiritual. Exactly.
I feel like it would have to be for the right person and the right families.
That's what I wonder. Like who
millennials and forward.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But would it be like I don't know. It kind of irks me a little bit.
It's funny because I really think that robots are like super awesome all the time. But for my own personal funeral, I hope it's a person.
Really do.
Yeah. But
I think some things deserve that human touch.
I'm so happy Jeff is not on air.
Jeff is biting his tongue over behind the camera. We're going to hear about this in a week, folks.
So on this one, Jeff wins. Okay.
I do have a good example of what robots can be used for. So stick around and we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes.
Okay. Owners of Samsung smart TVs say their Swish sets are basically unusable after a bungled firmware update. The update was so bad it looked as though it will require people to send or bring their televisions back to base to repair to correct the issue. Pardon me. People posting on Samsung UK's support forums report that an update released on August 8th rendered many newer smart sets, such as the 50-inch Ultra HD and 49-inch 4K displays, entirely unusable. Judging from the dozens of complaints, the gear functioned as expected prior to getting the most recent firmware upgrade from the South Korean giant. After that software is installed, the smart televisions are stuck on a single channel, the remotes don't work, the volume can't be adjusted, or in some cases they are just totally inoperable. We saw this last week with the smart door locks, and it's a terrible situation for end users. Don't install firmware updates and you'll miss out on security patches and potentially be vulnerable to exploit or other threats. Do install the updates and your device might be bricked.
Yikes.
So Is every Samsung TV now going to be at risk?
Well, no, it's not. It's not a risk to every TV. It's
Right.
it's a select batch. But the fact is where. How do you have confidence? And we're seeing this more and more because computers are getting their updates automatically. Devices, you pull your phone out of your pocket and it says this, and this have been updated. I never asked it to, but it did it.
It just does it.
And is it going to break things? People bring in a Windows 10 computer that won't boot anymore because Tuesday's updates made it so that their computer wouldn't boot.
Yeah.
And where do you turn off the updates? I don't think that's the answer.
That's probably not the answer.
Right.
There should be maybe a trial update done, like at the Samsung base, perhaps.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Like some
They
beta
should
testing before they roll it out
test
to
some
the
things.
universe.
Samsung really keeps learning this lesson.
They have made mistakes in their time recently. Oh my goodness, did we go there?
Yeah. So
Thinking about explosions and lawsuits.
Right.
and
So all you need to do is a little bit of testing, I would say.
That's all you need to do, folks.
Okay. Bending to public pressure as more and more drone hackers break into their kits, Chinese firm DJI has now announced a bug bounty program. Security researchers, academic scholars, and independent experts often provide a valuable service by analyzing the code in DJI's apps and other software products and bringing concerns to public attention, said DJI's Director of Technical Standards, Walter Stockwell, in a canned quote. This comes on the heels of hackers discovering hot patching frameworks hidden inside DJI's app, which it removed last week. In particular, DJI is interested in bugs pertaining to safe flight or data privacy. Payouts will range between $100,000 and $30,000, depending on the potential impact of the threat. Conscientious drone hackers are invited to email bugbounty@dji.com with details of flaws and fails. Big thanks this week to the Albuquerque Turkey, Roy W. Nash, and our community of viewers for submitting stories to us this week. Thanks for watching the Category 5.tv newsroom, and don't forget to like and subscribe for all your tech news with a slight Linux bias, and for more free content, be sure to check out our website. From the Category 5.tv newsroom, I'm Sasha Dermatis. For the last time. Ever.
We're going to be introducing Sasha Rickman in just a few weeks.
Yes.
Wow. It's upon us, folks. All right. Well, this is Category 5 Technology TV. Welcome to the show. I'm Robbie Ferguson.
I'm Sasha Dermatis.
I'm Shizu Yamaguchi.
Nice to see you. Nice to have everybody here. And now I mentioned I was going to show you a good use for a robot. Have you heard of the
Yes.
Da Vinci robot?
No.
Okay. Now this... I'm going to show you a clip. It aired about a year ago, but it's just now really making its rounds on social media and things like that. So imagine a use case for robots, and then watch as the Da Vinci robot sutures a grape.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So speaking of good uses for robotics, and thinking about microsurgeries and the intricacies,
Wow.
and how much easier it is for somebody to heal quickly and be able to leave the hospital quickly.
Right. Yeah, if you just needed simple stitches, you could just go to like the stitches kiosk in the hospital.
Go to like an automated machine where you drop in some coins and then...
That's right. Like insert
Nice.
limb, insert injured limb.
Do you think that's how Da Vinci works?
Oh my goodness.
I'm picturing it like the robot claw that comes down and grabs the stuffed animals,
the stuffed toy,
right?
and then you like, yeah.
Oh my. Wow, this is really taking a turn. But there you have it. So
That's
there's
awesome.
a finished
Wow.
suture. And
That's
so
amazing.
Just so intriguing, but what
Wow.
a use for robotics.
Yeah.
So, I think there are some good use cases in I mean, you're looking at it right now. So not everything is perfect. Look at that.
Wow.
From Da Vinci surgery inside a bottle.
It's so interesting where technology is these days. When we go back to the news item about those TVs breaking down because of updates, but then on the other hand, you have these machines that can do a better job than, the human with the shaky hand or who had a late night. It's really interesting that it's just all over the place. It depends on where you are on the map, exactly where the benefit's coming in, and then there's all those risks popping up as well.
And I think about how miniature the surgery can be with those kinds of robotics, and so precise that you hear about. I hear a fair bit about microsurgeries these days.
We had a story about a 3D printed heart. It was on all one piece 3D printed heart.
Yeah, and it actually worked.
It works, and it's only good for, it hasn't been used in a human yet, but it only works for about 30 days. Yeah. But really it would bridge the gap if you're waiting for a transplant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So, most of the time these things are amazing, and then your TV gets bricked or your phone explodes.
So I just thought that was interesting. So that's it for the news, and we're going to move along with we've got a fair bit to cover, but Sasha is actually, I'll let you know, because I'm not sure if you're aware, Sasha is building her own computer.
Oh, yes. This is from previous episodes, right?
It's a multi-part series, and we're currently at part 4. Yeah. And so do you want to kind of explain where we're at this point?
We're at the receiving boxes part. So last week, we made a shopping list, and I immediately went home and I ordered a whole bunch of stuff, and it was
it's on its way.
Super fun. And lots of the boxes have now arrived, so that's super cool.
So what have we got? I saw the CPU fan.
Right.
I saw the CPU itself. The motherboard is beautiful.
It is sharp.
It really is.
Keyboard and mouse.
It's even better than I expected. The keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Is that it? I think that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other things are sort of on their way.
Route, so we're expecting those.
I really do want to thank Frank, Joseph, and Robert, who all have donated for the build. Thank you so much from the absolute bottom of my heart. I cannot wait to share this with Dave and to show him all that everybody's done, from, coming up with the idea of, the whole vision was created by you. So thank you.
This is like the first cloud build. Like, you viewers, you've helped to design the system, to pick out the parts, to even fund it now, and we appreciate that very, very much. If you'd like to pitch in now, understand that this is a wedding gift for Sasha's husband.
Yes.
But you're going to utilize it as well. It's going to be your family computer. So so if you'd like to contribute to that as a bit of a wedding gift to the happy couple, head on over to donate.category5.tv, and you can see there's an option to donate specifically to that. So a couple of questions that have arisen since then,
right,
that we never thought to bring up, and I'll explain why. Because some of the technologies that I didn't bring up are things that I don't use in a desktop computer ever. But I thought, well, we better ask you, and the viewers in the forum at cat5.tv/CPU2017 wanted to know, do you need Wi-Fi? Is your computer going to be connected to wireless? How do you currently connect your computer?
Well, okay, so I looked a little into it. Right now we're connected into the actual box.
Physical router, like a cable going into the computer?
Yes.
Fantastic. That's good.
However, so we rent a basement apartment, and we have one router that connects upstairs and downstairs. We all, because
you share it with the house?
We share it with the whole house.
Okay.
And right now it's in our apartment, but evidently there's connection issues upstairs, and they wanted to move it upstairs. So I've been really encouraging that we don't do that. Instead, we get one of those things that just expands the, there's you know what I'm talking about? The little things.
A repeater.
Yeah. So I want to keep it close to us so that we don't have to be Wi-Fi. The answer is yes-ish. Yes-ish. I might need it.
That could be a predicament. So Wi-Fi is not as reliable, and it's not as fast.
Exactly.
Okay. So you're going to have issues with Wi-Fi. So we didn't put a Wi-Fi adapter in it. We didn't buy a motherboard that had built-in Wi-Fi.
We're not going to need it.
And I wanted to suggest that if you do need Wi-Fi, just buy a USB dongle, because that way, as Wi-Fi technology evolves, you can just pull out that and plug in a new one, and they're cheap. And it doesn't have to be part of the build.
Right. I'm really usually quite easygoing, but I've very much put my foot down in this whole router movement thing.
So is there a cable that goes from your router all the way up to the apartment upstairs? Or are they using Wi-Fi?
Is it weird that I don't know? I don't know.
It's very strange. Very strange.
I
wonder if they're using Wi-Fi.
They probably are, and it's not working out so well for them.
And they're having trouble, and they want to reverse that, so you're the one having trouble. So I think you should have somebody in that can run what's called a network drop, an Ethernet cable that goes up through the walls or through the floor into the router, and then extends that to what's called a switch. So you have the router, and then a big long cable going down to your apartment or vice versa, and then a switch on the other end, which turns that one cable into 5 ports.
Right.
So then you can network them all together. But keep in mind, even the way that you're doing this, the way that you have your computer connecting to a network with the people upstairs, if they got a virus, if they got ransomware, your computer is susceptible.
Oh.
Okay, because you're on the same, what's called a local area network. It's a computer network. All of them can talk to each other, like your office. All the computers can access each other's files and communicate with one another. So
I don't think she knows that upstairs. So that's good.
You're not going to be a threat to them because you're installing Linux on your computer. However, they are a threat to you because I would imagine that they probably have Microsoft Windows. And so if you have files on your computer, which you will, and if they are shared in such a way that you can access them from your laptop and you can access them from your other devices, well, guess what? So can they.
Okay.
So you lose
Can I put
privacy.
like a block thing?
It's the same network. You're connected to the very same network.
Okay.
And I'm guessing they don't have the infrastructure to add a second subnet with its own isolated VPN.
I don't know.
Not likely.
Okay.
At home.
Probably not.
So understand that is a susceptibility. So you might want to look into something else. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Do you concur?
Absolutely. I concur with experts all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's a good rule of thumb.
It's a very real risk, though.
Okay.
And ransomware is the biggest concern, I think.
Okay.
Because they go out through the network and look for other computers and encrypt their files.
Right. It wouldn't actually be like the upstairs neighbor trying anything. It would be ransomware.
Well, it could be. I mean, whatever. If the Wi-Fi was open, your Wi-Fi reaches like 2 kilometers, like a mile. And so anyone who can compromise the... because I know it sounds like you probably know a lot about your setup and the security that you have in place.
What are you saying?
I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
And so somebody within like a mile of that router could connect into the Wi-Fi, hypothetically, and still access things and all that kind of stuff. So there's some security concerns there.
Okay.
Apparently Google was doing that with their, I don't know if you heard about that.
When they were doing car?
Yeah.
What was the...
We're just going to leave it at that. Tell more.
Tell more. Are you asking me to tell more?
Oh, yes,
about
please.
It? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. No, just apparently...
They've heard enough about me.
Oh, no. That the Google Street View cars, when they were going around, were hacking into people's... Not hacking into, but they were tapping into the information that was available on Wi-Fi networks that had no password. And then there were also, I think, drivers that were going about and just hacking into or tapping into Wi-Fi networks that were unprotected by passwords and offering to offer protection or something like that. So there's all sorts of these, I think these days...
It's like the roofer who put their business card and their flyer in our door because our roof needs work. Like they can see it from the road.
Yeah.
So these guys
we can tell that you need protection.
I know that you need this security software because you're wide open and I just copied all your files to this thumb drive. Like, so it's
something
not,
like that. Yeah.
Google got caught because they're huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have to disclose a certain amount of information. The next guy driving around with his laptop and sniffing for open Wi-Fi hotspots is not necessarily going to get caught.
Yeah.
You would never know. And I don't want to put fear in your heart, but I do. Because that's what protects you. You would never know if somebody was driving around the neighborhood, got into your Wi-Fi, and started copying all your files.
Right. They would need to know my password.
You'd be like, oh, our internet's slow today.
That's right. That happens. Don't do this to me.
I'm just saying.
I feel like that is something more of the past, though, because most people have passwords on their Wi-Fi networks. Of course, it's always a risk, but what's that?
We've gotten rid of WEP.
WEP.
So, so some older routers came with WEP as the security encryption.
Okay.
Very, very easy to compromise.
Oh, I see.
So you could get around that. People put a password on it and think they're safe. Well,
but
also
it was really
if your password is password 123.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They also use dictionary attacks.
Oh, that's my password.
Oh dear.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. They can use dictionary attacks to try to find, and some of the most common passwords are what people are using for their Wi-Fi hotspots.
Yeah.
So we did kind of digress there into a security discussion, but I didn't know that you were sharing internet with another.
So what do I do instead of having like unlimited awesome internet? I pay for my own internet.
You could, if they ran a cable from their modem down to your apartment. Okay, that's one Ethernet cable that is connected to their network. You could buy a router, so it would act as it's what you would normally connect to a modem and connect out to the world. You could bridge that router so that it thinks that the connection to their apartment is actually a modem and just a connection to the internet, and it would act as a firewall. It would stop them from being able to access anything beyond your router.
Okay.
So that's one way you could do it, and that's reasonably cheap. Like you can get like a Netgear router for a good price, on Amazon or whatever.
Okay.
I bought mine at Future Shop, but they're no more. So
that's right.
Amazon it is.
Okay.
It's probably Amazon's fault.
I'm gonna go home and ask Dave some questions about our internet that he's gonna be like, why are you asking me this?
There you go. Okay, the one other thing that we didn't ask about, and this is, I'll get into it a little bit, but optical media. So CDs, DVDs, being able to burn things. I have not used a CD in so many years.
We have a PS4.
Okay, so when you have Blu-ray discs, you can play them.
Yeah.
But how often do you have a Blu-ray disc anymore anyways?
So rare.
Like, how is it the Blu-ray is obsolete? Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to be Netflix and anything else, right?
Yeah.
So you have a player that you could play your discs, so we don't need to put the added expense of installing an optical media reader into the computer. Do you ever need to burn discs? And that's another thing. Like, I used to burn discs because I needed an ISO burnt to disk, but now you use a USB flash drive.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever burn a disc. I don't think I would ever buy a disc. Like, I feel like when even will that ever happen? Like
ESET, I know they're in retail. But realistically, it's all about the downloads.
It is completely,
And when you've got the disc, it's probably the version that was burnt last spring. So you might as well get the version that was just released yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's a free download for people who have a license. So,
And I think the question is, does it spark joy?
Exactly.
You don't. Yeah, I
don't know if it would.
I have boxes and boxes of CDRs that have been burnt to, that I don't know what's on them.
Yeah.
And I can't throw them out because I don't know what's on them.
Yeah.
But I probably could. I went through that with floppy disks so many years ago.
Wow.
But I do have an optical media drive in my laptop, but I can't remember the last time I used it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was me with a lot of my CDs too. The ones that I recognized, and Spark Joy or whatnot, I kept, but everything I just threw out. There's just no need.
Even music these days is MP3, and it really is, or AAC.
Yeah.
But Amazon sells MP3s.
Yeah.
So that if I buy a CD, I can get the digital download.
Yeah.
So I do tend to buy the physical CDs because I like the physical CD as
like
brings
a
me
memento
joy.
Kind of.
It really, it's something tangible.
Yeah.
And I am very old school that way. I like to have something tangible.
Yeah.
But Amazon also gives me the MP3s at the same time. So I don't often even open the CD. It just
Oh, wow.
It's just on the shelf.
Do you use like the insets or whatever? Like, do you look through those for the lyrics? Or?
Sometimes,
no?
not so much anymore.
So now it's
you
just
can
like
Google the
memorabilia
lyrics.
kind of thing.
You could Google them.
Yeah, I just bring them up in Google.
I just have
Album
Spotify.
covers are kind of neat.
Yeah,
I use
sometimes there's
Spotify.
pictures.
I
and
use
posters.
Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't, even when I was talking to the wedding DJ, right? Well, not that I have a complicated wedding planning thing. I don't actually communicate with the DJ. I talk to somebody who talks to the DJ. But anyway, the conversation went, well, what songs do you want to hear so I can make sure I can download them in time?
Yeah.
Not like...
What a change. I used to use reel-to-reels when I was DJing. Jeff. I mean, we worked in radio, and that was after the reel-to-reel days, but it was all... Well, we switched to MP3, but we were carts before that. So...
Yeah.
But I had two half-inch reel-to-reel machines side by side.
What's a reel-to-reel?
What do you wanted to ask that
what
same
does
question.
that mean? Reel-to-reel.
Reel-to-reel tapes. So
Oh,
Is that like a
Not
tape
cassettes.
track?
no,
Oh my goodness.
there were only 4 tracks per reel.
So a 4-track. It's before an 8-track.
So you think of a video projector and
Okay.
the big wheels
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the tape
yeah,
in
yeah,
it,
that's what I
and
had
then
in
it
my
goes
head.
between another reel and it moves through.
Oh,
So a
okay.
reel-to-reel machine would play the audio,
Oh.
Like
From
a
one
really
reel
big
to another
cassette
reel.
tape?
Oh, interesting.
but not a cassette. It's not a cassette at all. Reel-to-reel player. Let's do that. I'm gonna Google. There you go.
See? Google. You can Google
There's a
anything.
TIAC. Yeah.
Wow. So
You've
it's all
honestly
that-
never even heard.
This is only audio, right?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think I've seen these machines before, but I don't think I've ever.
I actually used to spin those as a DJ.
Wow.
I
Spin them meaning what?
play music from those to DJ.
So the music is on one and you
Dances
just put
and
it in
stuff.
like...
Yeah, you'd have
do you-
tapes, and you make your own tapes because it's just you just buy a spool of the tape,
And then how do you get
Right.
the music
Oh, I
onto
see.
it?
and then you
I feel
have,
so dumb.
and then you
Yeah,
have,
no,
a,
that's
and
neat.
then so you've got the tape, and you put the music on it, you record it on, and then you've got all these spools, and so I have spools of various songs, and you can skim to and you cue them up and everything.
So
Wow.
somebody requests a song, what do you do?
You have to cue it up. So you'd have a tape that has 6 songs on it per side, and you'd have to put the reel on and get it spinning, and then
Wow.
fast forward, and it uses cue mode, so you hear it like a chipmunk. So and then you find the spot, the cue spot, and you stop it there, pause it, and then as soon as it's time to play, you have like 3 minutes to do it. So,
How's the sound quality? Is it the same as like a cassette
well, it's
tape?
what studios used to use to record bands and stuff. So it's
Wow.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's analog, but
Yeah.
but
Interesting.
it's better than like a cassette.
Wow.
This is like the pro version of a
Yeah.
cassette, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have
Cassette
one
isn't
still?
miniaturized. No.
It kind of looks like a giant
I
cassette to
decluttered.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. It's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I lost that long ago. But
Wow.
wow, indeed. There are some people in the chat room who are like, oh yeah, I still use that. Well, this is Category 5 Technology TV, and our website is category5.tv. So, Sasha, we're not doing optical, we're not doing Wi-Fi.
Right.
We're good to go.
We're good to go. We're
All right.
ready to rock.
Fantastic. If you've got some feedback for her, head on over to cat5.tv/CPU 2017. We've got a few more minutes time. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Haha. What shall we do?
Well, you're kind of you're getting into graphic design. How far into that are you?
So I've done, let's see. So it's been an interest of mine for a long period of time, probably about a decade. And I did a year of schooling for it at George Brown College 2 years ago. So, and I've done some freelance work, some for like organizations related to the city of Toronto. I had a billboard up at Queen Street West at one point in time. So I don't know, I've done a little bit
Cool.
here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You Photoshop user? Or what do you do?
Yeah, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, kind of the basic.
So you're getting into vector, or
Yeah, I mean, that's Illustrator. Illustrator
Yeah.
is all vector and related to more of the logo design,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But a little bit of web design as well. So that's what I'll be diving deep into this next year.
have you ever heard of the GNU image manipulation program, aka GIMP?
No.
Really?
No.
So think
Actually, GIMP, it does sound familiar, but please explain.
Well, think about Photoshop.
Yeah.
And it is a very pricey application,
Yeah,
especially now
that's
that it's
true.
on a licensing model.
Yeah, absolutely.
The GIMP is essentially an RGB-only alternative, but it's absolutely free. It's open source.
Oh, okay.
So kind of like how Linux is an open source alternative to
Right.
to Microsoft Windows,
Okay.
or even Mac OS if you wanted to go there.
Okay. So where would you, could you get it? Is it just directly accessible through the internet?
Yeah,
or-
free download,
Yeah? Okay,
gimp.org. So you can head on over to there to get the GIMP.
Yeah.
It's available on Windows, Mac, or Linux.
Oh, okay.
So we're
Great.
using it on Linux.
Oh, great.
One of the neat things about Linux is that because it's free, and GIMP is also free, people think, hey, it would be really good to be able to do this, and then someone codes it and then releases it for free.
Okay.
On Windows, it's not the same because it's a proprietary environment. The people who make it have to say, oh, we agree that's a great feature, so we'll add it in the next big release or something like that, right? So one really, really simple comparison, a little Linux tip for you, is Unicode characters. Are we familiar with Unicode at all? Unicode is, so you think about the keys on your keyboard, you've got A through Z and everything else. Those are Unicode characters. But our keyboard only can handle 104 keys or whatever it happens to be because of space restrictions. And of course, you wouldn't want a keyboard that wraps all around you. But Unicode itself, so the amount of letters, characters, numbers, and figures that are available to you are vastly larger than what's available on your keyboard. So you think about, for example, an M dash, or the pound sign for the currency, or the euro. Like, these are all characters, but how do you type that into a keyboard?
Right.
And that's where Unicode comes in.
So is this available, let's say, in Microsoft Word as one of the not languages, but one of the scripts, or?
Well, you can. No? That's a bit hacky to change your font.
Oh, okay.
You could change your font to a Unicode enable, or use the ability. Word has a special characters selector or something like that.
Yeah.
But we can actually type Unicode with our keyboard.
Oh, okay.
So it's absolutely possible. In Word, using that as an example, and this is where Windows is very much different than Linux, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, or it's not quite as, well, on Windows, it's not as universal. It works in Word, and pretty much in nothing else.
Okay.
Maybe WordPad, but not Notepad. Unicode characters have to be inputted in a special way. So you have to, first of all, know the Unicode character. So I'm just gonna hop onto Google here and type Unicode characters, and you can just do that and find some of the characters that are available to you. So unicode-table.com is a huge repository of them, and you'll just be blown away at what's available. So it starts with the normal alphabet, and then you get into kind of foreign characters and accents. We see a lot of that in the French language in typing. So, being able to do accent circumflex, those kinds of things. All right. So once you know the character codes that you want, you see all those? It's just huge. Like, it's just loading and loading and loading. Now, on Windows, in order to do that, I need to bring up Microsoft Word. And then in order to type it, I have to press Alt-X in Word.
Yeah.
Punch in the Unicode number, hit Enter, and then it converts into the Unicode.
Okay.
But it doesn't work in any other application.
Right.
On Linux, on the other hand, all I have to do is press Control-Shift-U, and it works universally.
Oh.
So to demonstrate that, even in, let's say, my address bar, I wouldn't be surprised if it works there. It did. So see what happens in Linux? It creates a U with an underline. So any application that I am in, so if I head over to, let's just bring up Pluma, for example, my text editor. And if I hit Control-Shift-U, now I have an underlined U. And you think, oh, that's an underlined U. Well, it's not. It's actually waiting for me to input a Unicode number.
Okay.
And then I can input it. So we know, for example, an M dash is 2014. It's really easy to remember because the year just passed.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever need an M dash, it's 2014. The number is universal. So if you're on Windows, it's still 2014, but you just have to go about inputting it a little bit more roundabout because you've got to go into Word, hit Alt-X.
I see.
On Linux, I don't care what application you're on, Control-Shift-U, and it's waiting for a number.
Wow.
So it's waiting right now. I'm going to hit 2014 and then hit Enter, and it immediately turns it into an M dash.
Wow.
So similarly, Control-Shift-U, and if I want to use, let's say, the Euro symbol, so 20AC, Enter, and there it is.
Wow.
Okay.
So in terms of the types of professions or people that use Unicode most frequently, who would that be?
Well,
or is it just for general users and the convenience of being able to create all of these different kinds of I guess, types
characters
of
that
characters.
you don't have access to.
Yeah.
And that's how, and thank you for the beautiful segue, because at the beginning of this segment, we started talking about graphic editing and how does this relate to graphic editing. And so we're going to look at a what is traditionally used as a web developer's tool, and it's called Font Awesome.
Ooh.
It's just like it sounds. So we go to fontawesome.io. And what Font Awesome allows you to do, and we've seen this on the show before, Font Awesome allows you to use icon sets within a font. So on the web, we do this using CSS classes.
Right.
So if I need a snowflake, or if I need a little fire logo or an ID card, all of these things can be used in our web design, or in our demonstration tonight, they can be used in our graphic design. But how do we translate something that's built for web into something that we can use now in the GNU image manipulation program, or Microsoft Word, I suppose, because if you're on Windows, you could install this as well, the same way we're going to do it here on Linux. But then you'd have to hit Alt-X and use the Unicode character. Because watch what happens here as I'm looking at these. So let's say let's just pick one if I want the envelope. And if I scroll down a little ways, so that's what it looks like. And you see here, Unicode F2B6. So as long as we have Font Awesome, we can use the Unicode character F2B6 and it will create an envelope.
Okay.
Because it is a TTF, a font, it can be any size. It's vector.
Okay.
We can scale it to any size and it can be huge, it can be part of our graphic. We can use them as bullet list images, icons, those kinds of things. So in order to get it, let's just go back to the home and you'll see a button called Download. Nice and straightforward. And scroll down a little bit here. And we can just say, no thanks, just download Font Awesome 4, unless you would like to support them by purchasing the commercial release. Okay, so Font Awesome is downloaded just like that. We've got fonts, and we have all kinds of stuff here. Looks like we've got a TTF, which is a Windows True Type font, and then we've got an OTF, which is an open type font. And that is, we can use either or. On Linux, both are supported. If I open that, let's see here. I may have to extract it first. So I'm just going to extract that, throw it on my desktop. And on Windows, it's no different. Now let's try opening this. Let's see, open with Font Viewer. Let's see if it comes up. No, I've got a few different font viewers installed. But, well, hopefully that one will work.
I love how smoothly you're going through this. It's like watching someone do magic or something like that.
Magic.
Magic. The magic art of Robbie Ferguson.
I'm going to try installing it. I just hit install, and let's see if that actually did it. So I can check that by going into... thanks for the compliment, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Magic,
for sure.
Let's just make sure that we've got the font. I'm just using this to see. So if I type in Font Awesome, it is there. Okay. So again, here I am in LibreOffice Writer. This is a free alternative to Microsoft Word, and I am using it in Linux. And because I am using it in Linux, what's the key combination I can use? Anybody remember?
F2B6?
That's a good one. That's the envelope.
Alt-X
in Word.
Shift.
That's only if you're in Windows.
Oh, in Windows.
On Linux, doesn't matter what program I'm in. Control-Shift-U.
Control-Shift-U.
And then, what was the code that you gave me?
Oh, F2B6? I'm not sure.
Let's try it. Enter.
Ooh.
Way to go. Okay, so now I've got that graphic in because I've selected Font Awesome as my font, and I can set it to any size I'd like, and it's going to be lossless because it's vector.
Right, of course.
So, bringing that over to the graphic design end of things, we can go into GNU image manipulation program, and one of the things that we find, and you see this in Photoshop and other applications as well, is that bullet lists can sometimes be not very pretty. Because there's really there's no ULs and LIs, there's no bullets per se. It's all done through graphics. So let's create a really quick graphic. I'll just make something that's about 1,000 by 1,000 square. And then I'm going to create a text layer. This is the GNU image manipulation program. It's absolutely free and available at gimp.org. So once I've created this, I can say, hello. Hi. I'm really creative with my lorem ipsums. I can do that. There we go. Okay. So if I want bullet points now, traditionally we're going to do a hyphenation or something like that. Well, what I can actually do is we can hit, let's change our font for this particular spot. We're just going to type in font awesome. And then I'm going to type Control-Shift-U. And what was the code?
Oh, F2B6, right?
There you go. Okay. So then I can either continue to copy or continue to type that, or I can copy and paste it just like that. And now, now we're using an envelope, but it could be a check mark, or it could be anything else.
Wow.
And because it's a font, it's going to be nicely matched up to the pixel height of the font that you're using, and those kind of things. So that's Font Awesome from fontawesome.io. Definitely a great tool for web design. Because it is a web font, you can use it just by specifying the CSS class, and we've shown that again on the show before. So head on over to category5.tv and do a quick search for Font Awesome.
Sounds like I named it. Awesome.
This could be something that you could use in business. And you've had it happen where, formatting is different on one computer or something, and bullets aren't looking quite right. Remember the check boxes?
Yes.
So you had a form where in one application it had a nice square for people to check off on this printout.
And then on the other one, the box already had an X in it, as though everything had already been checked off.
So you could install Font Awesome, the font, and then use the Unicode character for the square, and boom, you've got it.
I love it.
Fancy, fancy.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
You just got a raise, Sasha.
Sweet.
Anything else we need to cover tonight? I guess that's all the time that we have.
Yeah.
How did we get here? Does the hour fly by or what?
It really does. I feel like the adjectives are also great. Magic, awesome.
Did it bring you joy?
It completely did. There's a spark right here.
Can't ask for anything more. There you have it, folks. Well, I will see you next Wednesday night. Now, you're going to be away.
I'll be away for 2 weeks.
And when she comes back, she will no longer be Sasha Dermatis, but Sasha Rickman.
That's right. I'll be Sasha R2 instead of Sasha D2.
Nice. Jeff will be here with me next week. We're going to be unboxing any of the gear that has arrived thus far. So you'll have to be watching from the wedding place.
Right. Without Dave. Sorry, Dave. Sorry,
on your
Dave.
Phone,
Gotta go.
With a pair of headphones. There you go. But that's going to be a lot of fun. So head on over to cat5.tv/CPU 2017 once again and learn about what it is that we're doing with that build. So Shizu, it's great to have you here. Thanks for coming. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, I completely did. This was a great experience.
Thanks for sharing the book as well.
Oh, yeah,
the life-changing magic of cleaning up.
Of tidying up.
Tidying up.
Yeah.
Tidying up. I can't wait to get my copy. It's cat5.tv/tidy. And we will see you again next week. Take care.